Hello viewers, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the session on prepositions. Well, prepositions are standard expressions and they should be studied, learned, remembered and used as they are. They are very tricky, very confusing, at the same time very important. For example, for instance, most of them, they say, I came to college by walk. Or at least some of them, they say, I came to college by walk. The standard grammar doesn't accept that. It says on foot is correct or by foot is correct. Now, these areas, what we use in our mother tongue is different from what we use in this English language grammar. So, pre meaning before, position. It indicates the position of a noun. Okay. Or it indicates the position of, it indicates the position of a noun and it relates it to the rest of the, structures of the sentence. Let's go and see more about these prepositions, which are standard expressions, which should be used carefully in our day-to-day communication, spoken and written communication. I am Sunil Solomon Philip. I have been working in the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering as an assistant professor of English. And let's go and study more about the prepositions. Okay. A preposition is part of speech in English grammar. That is a word or set of words that indicate the location or some of the relationship between a noun or pronoun and also other parts of a sentence. To be in brief, preposition indicates the position of noun or pronoun. So if we remember that, that is sufficient. That indicates the position, preposition. Okay. So it's a word or set of words and those words indicate the location or some of the relationship between a noun or pronoun and also other parts of a sentence. Okay. If that's the definition, let's go and see more about the usage of these prepositions, the rules and regulations of these prepositions. So a preposition shows the relationship between a word in the sentence and the word that is the object of the preposition. So when we actually see the example, we will come to know more about it. It is known as the biggest little word in English because of its important functions. It is in fact a little word, but it is one of the biggest words in English language because the function of this preposition is very important in spoken communication or in written communication. It shows the relationship between a word in the sentence and the word that is the object of the preposition. Okay. Now, if you see this table, I have mentioned prepositions of time separately, place separately, direction or movement separately, manner separately, and other types of prepositions. If you look at the prepositions of time, you have after, around, at, before, between, during, from, on, until, at, in, from, since, for, during, within. Now, in the prepositions of time, two prepositions are very, very importantly and carefully used. And they are, since represents the actual point of time and for represents the duration, period or length of time. Since is for the actual point of time. For example, I have been teaching since 9:30. And the same sentence if I use, I will have to use it as I have been teaching for 2 hours, or for 3 hours, for 3 days, for 3 months, for 3 minutes. Duration, period or length is represented by the preposition for. The actual point of time, since Monday, since March, since 1925, since 2:30 p.m., actual point of time, we use the preposition since. Now, the rest of the prepositions, between is always followed by and. Even in most of the competitive examinations, they ask this question. Our English session is between 10:30 a.m. and 12:10 p.m. We should never say our English session is between 10:30 a.m. to 12:10 p.m. Most of them, they commit the mistake of using the preposition to after between. Between is never followed by the preposition to. Between is always followed by the preposition and. Between 10:30 a.m. and 12:10 p.m. So we should carefully remember that in the usage part. During represents some sort of action that is in progress. He paid a visit to our college during summer vacation. We went to Kodaikanal during summer vacation. That means during that time, from 15th of May to 31st of May, during those 15 days of time, we went to Kodaikanal, we went to Ooty, okay, for during the summer vacation. The duration that is in progress is mentioned with the preposition during. Duration, during. All right? Okay. Then, after, around, these are also used. For example, after 2 p.m., around 2 p.m., at 2 p.m., and then, on Sunday, on Monday. So these are some of the prepositions of time. Let us go ahead and see some of the prepositions of place, location, prepositions of location. What are they? How are they used? Well, above, across, against, along, among, around, at, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, in, inside, into, near, off, on, opposite, out, over, past, through, to, toward, under, underneath. Now these prepositions of place, they indicate the position of a noun. For instance, the showroom is above the cellar. The car showroom is above the cellar. Hyundai showroom is above the cellar. Across, he was walking across the road. The difference between across and along is, we all know, across is crossing the road from one end to the other. Along is walking parallel to the road. Then among. Now, let me tell you a very interesting, sentence or example here. The trio kept the secret among them. The duo kept the secret between them. What is the difference? For two persons, we use between. For more than two persons, we use among. So the trio is actually three persons. Therefore, I am saying the trio kept the secret among them. And for two persons, the duo kept the secret between them. All right. And around, okay, at, I was waiting at the bus stop, I was waiting at the railway station, okay, behind, below, beneath, beside. Now look at this common confusion that occurs in beside. Beside and besides are commonly misused. Especially on signboards, they say, our showroom is besides Andhra Bank. What is the meaning of beside and what is the meaning of besides? Beside is a preposition meaning by the side of. Whereas besides is a conjunction meaning furthermore, moreover. Okay? Furthermore, moreover, besides, in addition to. All these are used as conjunctions, connecting words, linkers, progression markers. So, do not get confused between besides and beside. Beside is different, besides is different. One is a preposition, another one is a conjunction. Okay, all right. Between, the shop is, the grocery shop is between Andhra Bank and the medical shop. Between Andhra Bank and the medical shop. Beyond, you need to walk beyond the State Bank of India. You need to walk beyond State Bank of India to reach your destination, to reach your location. Okay, likewise, opposite to, next to, adjacent to, by the side of, diagonally opposite to, all these are prepositions. Okay, right. Now coming to prepositions of direction. At, for, on, to, in, into, between. These are all again prepositions of direction. Coming to prepositions of manner. Okay. He came to college by car, by bike, by scooter. On, prepositions of manner. The chief guest is going to discuss on the subject verb agreement. Right? In, prepositions of manner again. Okay? Or with, prepositions of manner. So, we use these prepositions of manner depending on the situation, depending on the context, right? The painter was painting with a wonderful brush. He was painting with a wonderful brush. Or the writer was writing with one of the best pens. Imagine. Prepositions of manner. He was running like a cheetah. So like a cheetah is also prepositions of manner. Okay, right. Now, other types of preposition are by, with, of, for, by, like, as. Okay, we will see them more in the slides to come. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see some of the rules of this usage of these prepositions. A preposition cannot be followed by a verb. Verb placed immediately after preposition must be in gerund form. What is that? He prevented me from drinking hot water. He insists on trying once again. The father prevented the son from smoking, prohibited the son from smoking, stopped the son from smoking. So I'm using three verbs and three, verbs here, but I'm using the same preposition, that is from. Prevented from, okay, stopped from, prohibited from. The father prohibited the son from smoking. The father stopped the son from smoking. The father, prevented the son from smoking. Stop, prevent, prohibit. In all these cases, right, the verb placed immediately after preposition is in gerund form. Which is a verb in this sentence? Is smoking. From smoking. That is a verb in this sentence. Or if you see this example, he prevented me from drinking. That is a verb here. Hot water. Similarly, look at another sentence. He insists on trying once again. So, on is a preposition. Trying is the verb here, which is in gerund form, present participle, ing gerund form. Progressive form of the verb. Alright, okay. Let us go and see rule number 2. When object of the preposition is an interrogative pronoun, such as what, who, whom, which, where, the preposition usually takes end or front position. What is that? How is it done? How is it, used? May I know who you are talking to? So, the pronouns here are what, who, whom, which, where. Okay, the preposition usually takes end or front position. Now, where is the preposition used in this example, in this sentence? May I know who you are talking to? To is the preposition which is used at the end of the sentence. Or, may I know to whom would you like to speak to? May I know to whom would you like to speak to? Again, to is used at the end of the sentence. Preposition. What are you thinking of? Again, of, a preposition at the end of a sentence. It used to be thought as ungrammatical to end a sentence with a preposition, but it is now well accepted. It was in the past that a sentence should not be, concluded with a preposition at the end, but now this is acceptable. Whom do you like to speak to? Whom did you speak to? Okay, all this. Interrogative pronouns ending with a preposition. Next one in our discussion, when object of the preposition is a relative pronoun, that the preposition takes end position. What is this object of the preposition? Here is the magazine that you asked for. Now, the object of the preposition here is you asked for. Magazine that you asked for. So that the preposition takes end position. The preposition here is for. Here is the magazine that you asked for. This is the dish that she is fond of. So the object of the preposition is dish that she is fond of. Here is the dish that she is fond of. Again, in this sentence, in the second example, the preposition is of, that is used at the end of the sentence. All right. Let's go and see some of the other rules in our discussion related to the subject prepositions. When the object of the preposition is infinitive, that is to plus verb, preposition is placed after infinitive. For example, for instance, this is a good hotel to stay at. So the object of the preposition here is good hotel, and that is followed by this to infinitive, to, followed by the verb stay at. This is a good hotel to stay at. Similarly, look at the other example. That is, I need a pencil to write with. Pencil is the object of the preposition. All right. And then pencil to write with. Pencil to write with. So write is the verb, to is the infinitive here, with is the preposition. When the object of the preposition is infinitive, preposition is placed after infinitive. To write with is the preposition. And that is the preposition of manner, or preposition of instrument also we can say. Okay, fine. In some sentences, preposition is attached with the verb. For example, for instance, I hate being laughed at. So here, the preposition is attached with the verb. What is the preposition here? At is the preposition. And what is the verb here? Laughed. I hate being laughed at. So we are attaching the preposition at with laughed. I hate being laughed at. This I insist on. This I insist on. Now, if you see this example, see this sentence, on is the preposition and insist is the verb. This I insist on. All right. I hope the rules are also easier and they are clear for all of you to easily understand and remember, or to understand and remember. Okay, fine. The next rule in our discussion, in interrogative sentences, preposition comes in the beginning. What is that? Interrogation is a question. Okay. So here we say the preposition comes at the beginning. For example, for instance, by which train did you come? Here the preposition is by. By which train did you come? Ending with a question mark. Interrogative sentence. Similarly, the next sentence, for whom was instructions given? Now, for is the preposition ending with a question mark. For whom was instructions given? Ending with a question mark. All right, okay. Now, use and examples of some important prepositions. At, in, on, in reference of time. At is used for a precise time. At 2 p.m., at 10:30 a.m., right? Whereas in is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. For example, in January, in 1972, or in 2000, in 19th century, in 20th century, or longer periods also we use it. On is used for days and dates. On 14th, and then, okay, on Monday. On 14th, on Monday. In reference of place, for example, at is used for a point, in is used for an enclosed space, on is used for a surface. The pen is on the table. In is used for an enclosed space. He's in the kitchen. He's in, the hall. He's in the bedroom. Right? At is used for a point. He's at the bus stop. He's at the railway station. All right. Okay. Now, at shows stationary position or existing state, while in shows movement. She is at home. Now, that is a stationary position. The train is in motion. So that is actually, it is a movement. Similarly, at for small space town, while in for big place town, city, country. For example, he lives at Alwar in Rajasthan, or he lives at Abbots in Hyderabad, for our easy understanding. A temple is situated at Madurai in Chennai. So Madurai is actually the district headquarters. Imagine. Chennai is the capital of Tamil Nadu. So a temple is situated at Madurai in Chennai. So for smaller locations and bigger locations, when we use both together, at for smaller locations and in for bigger ones. At is used for point of time and in is used for period of time. This we have already discuss. The train will arrive at 6 in the morning. He will meet you in the morning. In the morning. Right? In shows the existing state of things, while into shows movement. For example, he jumped into the river. He jumped into the river. There are 3 students in the class. So, in or into, they show the existing state of things. Alright. Now, to, into, and to. In the direction of, turn to the right. In the direction of something, turn to the right. Destination. I am going to Jaipur. Okay. Until, from Monday to Friday, 5 minutes to 10. Okay. Then, compared with, they prefer hockey to soccer. When you are comparing something with something, they prefer hockey to soccer. I prefer coffee to tea. You should never say, I prefer coffee than tea, which is again a common error. Right? With indirect object, please give it to me. Please give it to me. As part of infinitive, I like to ski, he wants to help. I like to ski, he wants to help. In order to, we went to the store to buy soap. To indicate the reason for going there. We went to the store to buy soap. To, the inside of. We stepped into the room. We stepped into the room. Change of condition. The boy changed into a man. Change of condition. The boy changed into a man. Alright. Now, on can be used for both existing position and movement. He was sitting on his bag. Snow fell on the hills. On can also be used as an adverb. Example, go on, come on. On to is used when there is movement involving a change of level. People climbed onto their roofs. He lifted her onto the table. With or by, with is used for instruments and by is for agents. With is used for instruments, by is for agents. Alright. He was writing with a beautiful pen, and by for agents. Okay. The snake was killed by him with a stick. You see, here we are using him as agent. The snake was killed by him with a stick. The letter was written by Suresh with a pencil. You see, by Suresh is agent, with a pencil is instrument. Since, for, from. Since is often used with present perfect or past perfect tense. Examples, it has been raining since 2 o'clock. That means it started raining at 2 o'clock. Now it is 10 o'clock in the night. 2 o'clock in the afternoon it started raining. Now it is 10 o'clock in the night. It continues to rain. It started in the past, continues into the present even at the time of speaking. And that's where we use this, present perfect continuous tense. Because we are indicating the actual point of time, we use the preposition since here. Alright, okay. He had been ill since Monday. Since can also be used as an adverb. He left school in 1983. I haven't seen him since. That means after 1983, I haven't seen him since 1983. So it is also used as an adverb. It is 2 years since I last saw Tom. It is 2 years since I last saw Tom. Between, among. Between is normally used for 2 things or persons, but it can also be used more when we have a definite number in mind and there is a close relationship, association within them. He distributed his property between his 2 daughters. Among is usually used for more than 2 persons or things when we have no definite number in mind. I have already told you the trio kept the secret among them, the duo kept the secret between them. For your easy understanding of the usage of this between and among. He was happy to be among friends again. Many friends, more than 2. Now, both among and amongst, both have the same meaning. Either of them can be used if followed by the. If followed by a word beginning with a vowel, amongst be used. For example, he distributed the toffees among the poor or amongst the poor. He distributed the toffees amongst us. Okay? Right. So we have so far discussed prepositions of time, prepositions of direction, prepositions of place, prepositions of instrument. Let me, before I close, let me actually tell you some of the common errors that are actually used in this, that are committed in the usage of these prepositions. Part, for example, when we are using part, which in the case of individuals it is from, in the case of things it is always with. He is a miser, he doesn't like to part with his money. The bride had tears in her eyes while she was parting from her parents. Let me say it again. He is a miser, he doesn't like to part with his money. Money is a thing, right? So part with. Whereas part, when it is used in the case of individuals, we always say apart from. The bride had tears in her eyes while she was parting from her parents. In the same fashion, died of and died in. He died of cancer, he died in an accident. So died of, in the case of serious sickness or illness, some terminal sickness like cancer or AIDS, died of AIDS, died of cancer. Whereas in the case of, for example, road accidents, he died in an accident. In an accident. Likewise, there are very interesting, but at the same time very important things that we should remember in the case of prepositions. We should also remember that prefer, as we discussed just now. I prefer coffee to tea. I prefer ice cream to soft drink. You should never say I prefer ice cream than soft drink. All right. He's suffering from fever, not with fever. Most of them, they commit this mistake in the leave letters that they write. You never say I'm suffering with fever. You should always say I'm suffering from fever. Our classroom is on the second floor, not in the second floor. On the second floor. Prepositions of location. I'm talking about some of the important areas where the common errors are committed in the usage of prepositions. What is the mistake that is committed? What is the correct preposition that should be used in these cases? I watched this, movie on the television, not in the television. Just because, in our mother tongue, we use it as in, we cannot use it here. I watched this program on the television, not in the television. He came to college by foot, okay? Or on foot, but you should never say by walk. Then where is by walk used? By car, by bike, by scooter, when you take external mode of transport. Between, among, since, for, okay, all these areas. Likewise, these are some of the interesting areas in the prepositions that we should remember, understand, use in our day-to-day communication, use in our spoken and written communication. Well, I think that's all I have for you in this session. I hope the session has been useful and meaningful to all of you. Always remember, prepositions are tricky, confusing, and important. They are standard expressions. Someone asks us, why is that I cannot use this here? Why is that I have to use only that preposition here? They are standard expressions. They should be studied, remembered, and used as they are. Something like, if you say something like this. Again, let me take the example of he has been suffering from fever. Then why can't I say with fever? It's a standard expression. From fever is the standard expression. So viewers, I hope all the rules and regulations that we discussed, the definitions, the examples for the prepositions of time, prepositions of direction, prepositions of place, prepositions of instrument that we have discussed are useful for all of you. So remember all of them and use them carefully in your academic exams, competitive exams, spoken and written communication, confidently and successfully. Keep watching IARE YouTube. Thank you for watching this program. I'm Sunil Solomon Philip. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.